if you turn yourself over to the higher authority and to the care of higher wisdom, to God as I understand him, it's not that I turn myself over to God and God does the work. Rather, I believe in the God who believes in me. If we study the Torah, the higher wisdom, we understand that the Torah and religion is not about God. It's about God believing in us, God empowering us to repair and to fix this world. When we look at Exodus chapter 34, verse 6 and 7, we see that God describes himself as Lord, Lord, mighty, compassionate, caring, empathic, merciful, fair, just, creative, forgiving, resilient. Those are our values. When we turn ourselves over to God as we understand him, we learn what God's values are and what value of God he instilled in me. I believe in the God who believes in me, meaning that God, as a higher power, as I understand him, placed within each and every one of us an attribute. Which attribute did God place in you? Is it consistency? God means consistency, perseverance. Is it leadership? Mighty. Mighty means God's leadership. You have an inner strength to solve the problem. Compassion. You have compassion and a mercifulness to you to solve the problem. You have empathy, taking care of someone's emotional needs. Do you have that ability? Are you honest, truthful? Can you use that to solve the problem? Creative. Are you creative, able to solve the problem? Are you loving, kind person who has ability to do for others? Can you use that trait to solve the problem? Are you creative with ideas, with music, art, with resourcefulness? Can you use that to solve the problem? That's a godly trait to solve the problem. Are you forgiving? Are you resilient? These are God's traits. When you turn yourself over to a higher power, God's wisdom, we turn to God, and God then turns to us and say, use my godly traits, use my godly characteristics, and find the godliness within yourself. That's what it means to turn yourself over to God, to the higher power. You turn yourself over to the wisdom of the Torah, and you say, I can then find out what traits of God he placed in me, in each of us, and how can I use those godly traits that God believes in me to be able to solve the problem. But that requires turning myself over to a higher power, to the care of God as I understand him, and allow his wisdom to be instilled in me, to become aware and conscious of it, so that I can harness that power and therefore overcome my self-will, my own ego, and use godly traits, godly characteristics, godly wisdom to be able to overcome and bring myself back to a successful, healthy life.